After falling just short of nearly pulling off one of the greatest playoff comebacks of all time, changes were imminent in Tampa. And a little more than a week later, the biggest shoe dropped, with Tom Brady calling it a career. Fortunately for the Bucs, the GOAT changed his mind and 40 days later announced he was coming back for a 23rd season.
And what it does for the Bucs, it makes them a contender again.
Not long after that, though, came another shocker, and this one stuck. Bruce Arians, a little more than a year after winning the Lombardi with the Bucs, would move into the front office, with Todd Bowles taking over as head coach.
We're going to get this train moving the right way. I'm excited for this opportunity.
While Bowles will get the benefit of working with Tom Brady, the tight end room will look a lot different, with Rob Gronkowski calling it a career for a second time. And while even though Gronk's agent has confessed Gronk may not be done, Brady will have to get by without one of his all-time favorite targets and teammates for the time being. But even without Gronk, this team looks a lot like the one that won the Super Bowl in the 2020 season and is favored to represent the NFC in Glendale this time around as well.
It's going to be a great year. We're going to work really hard. I'm most excited about this team and what we can try to accomplish.
Does Brady have one more elite year left in him as he chases an unprecedented 8th ring? And how will Bowles handle expectations of a Super Bowl or bust situation, what could be Brady's last season? It's setting up to be a fascinating season in Tampa.
Buccaneers, the favorites to win the NFC at plus 340. They are second only to the Bills in Super Bowl odds at 7-1. The over-under win total 11.5. They are expected to run away with that NFC South division. Let's look to the future with Charles Davis and Rick Spielman, who are on the ground in Tampa today. We're not going to look too far into the future because this could be it for Tom Brady. But for this season, guys, if you had the choice between two tickets, which one would you rather have? Brady to lead the league in passing at 7-1, did that last season, or Brady to win MVP at 9-1, something he hasn't done in 5 years? Charles, you can start.
Well, Chris, I would want to take the 9-1 because it's going to pay out a little bit better, right? But I'm actually going with the 7-1 because I'm going to go with Tom Brady in passing yards. Sometimes, Rick, what happens with Tom Brady is we kind of take his greatness for granted. And he doesn't get the votes that maybe he should have. He threw for over 5,000 yards last year. Didn't get the MVP in that one. I like passing yards.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with passing yards as well. And the only reason that he would potentially win the MVP, if this was his last year, if he had a great season, if they won the Super Bowl or were the number one seed going into the playoffs, I don't know why they wouldn't give it to him just as a going-away gift.
5,300 yards last season. That was third most in NFL history. The guys like him to lead the league in passing yards again this season at 7-1. All right, more props. Let's go to Mike Evans, whose receiving total is set at 1,050.5 receiving yards. Charles, he was under that in both seasons with Tom Brady so far.
Yeah, but Chris Godwin was around for those time frames, and we expect him to be around, but he may ease into it a little bit slower. I realize Julio Jones is coming on, but he's going to have to ease into things as well. I really think that Mike Evans' targets will go up and his numbers will go up. I like him over in terms of receiving yards.
And I'm going to agree with you there. He's had over 1,000 receiving yards since he entered the league for 8 straight years, and I don't know why that wouldn't have happened again this year. And even though Godwin, no one knows how long he's going to be out, but I know the relationship and the chemistry that Brady does have with him, so he's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way.
And Julio Jones signing that 1-year contract with the Bucs today, maybe fitting in as the number 3 or number 4 target for Tom Brady. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball, guys. Shaq Barrett, 10 sacks is the total. That's what he had last year. He's only been over that once in his 7-year career. Rick, you can go first on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to say under on that. I know they have some change on the defensive side, but he's really the only true known commodity as a pass rusher coming off the edge. So you know teams are going to game plan against him until someone, whoever that is opposite him, proves that they can rush the passer.
And that's exactly where it is, and that's where the rub is. Who's going to prove themselves? Akeem Hicks coming in, defensive tackle. Can he occupy people and rush the passer and create where the offense has to take him seriously? I think that he can. How about Joe Trioyinka, who they got in the first round last year at the University of Washington? I expect his game to step up. Logan Hall, the rookie out of Houston, they'll need him to step up as well. And Todd Bowles with a secondary intact, linebacking core back intact. The pressure packages are back in play, and he'll create some one-on-ones for Shaq Barrett. So I'm going over 10 sacks for Mr. Barrett.
Okay, let's move to team totals for the season. And 11.5 is the win total, Charles. They won 13 last season.
Yeah, I'm going over on this one, and I know it's going to be a tough slog because New Orleans, they're playing it like they're still involved in this thing as well, so they'll get some challenge, and they've beaten Tampa the last 4 straight in division. But I still say over. This team is a team that's primed to win the NFC South, primed to contend for another Super Bowl.
I'm going to go under on this one.
Oh!
And the reason
Did you say under on Tom Brady?
Under on Tom Brady. They can get 11 wins, but it's not that half win. And the reason I'm saying that is they have the 4th toughest schedule in the NFL. They're 0-4 in the regular season, like you just mentioned, versus the Saints. They're 0-3 against the LA Rams. And guess what else? They play both of the Super Bowl teams from last year.
The Rams come to
so
town again.
They'll win this division, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But I'm going to go under 11.5 wins.
Just that, Tom Brady, he hears everything. Rick Spielman says under, Tom. Rick Spielman says under.
They have
but
a
we
really
talked about how great the aura he has and how great he looks at 45.
He doesn't listen to when we tell him he's great. He only hears the negative side, and he comes for us on that.
Those first 4 games, really tough to start the season for Tampa. Let's talk odds to win the division, the NFC, and the Super Bowl. They're expected to run away with that division, minus 340. You got to put down $340 just to bring back 100, plus 340 to win the NFC, and 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. If you can only place one of those bets, Charles, which one would you place?
I'm going Super Bowl. I'm going all the way up, man. I'm taking them all the way to the Super Bowl. This is a team that didn't get where they wanted to go last year, but they did that with a team that was beat up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm counting on good health, increased play. Tom Brady, obviously on a mission because he unretired. I think this team gets back to the Super Bowl. That's the one I'm taking.
Very optimistic.
I am. I'm big on the Buccaneers. I like the pewter.
I think they're going to win the division, but that's it. They will not get to the championship game. They will not get to the Super Bowl. I understand that the NFC conference is probably not as talented as all those teams loaded up on the AFC side, but they still have some tough hurdles to get through in that schedule. And until they can prove they can beat the LA Rams, I'm going to say they don't get past the division win.
It's a beautiful sunshiny day here, but not in Rick Spielman. Not with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, I hope nobody from Tampa.
It's like the third day of training camp. Yeah, it's day 3 of training camp. Everybody's starting to get grouchy.
It's not like you're picking them to miss the playoffs or anything. You still have them winning the division, but that's it. Let's talk week 1, and we talked about that tough start to the schedule. They have to start in Dallas against the Cowboys, Rick, and the Bucs are actually favored in this game by 2.
I'm going with the Bucs. So there's your sunshine.
Now you like them?
Yeah.
Oh, now you like them?
They have Tom Brady. Why wouldn't I like him? No. I think Dallas lost some key players, and I don't know where they're going to be at as a football team and where their roster is. They still have a lot of unknowns. So I think with what Tampa was able to accomplish and signing some of these vets to get ready for that opener, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Hey, Chris, I don't care about that pick, which I like on his part, but I don't care about the pick as much as I love the schedule makers. I mean, how about that for an opener? Tampa, Dallas for the 2nd straight year. Just look at across the board in the NFL. The schedule, it opens up nicely.
And that first game, that's a primetime game. I'm always surprised when I see the note that Tom Brady is not good in primetime regular season with the Buccaneers. Look at the numbers here. How do you make sense of this? They are 1-9 in primetime games with Brady as the quarterback in Tampa.
Well, Rick Spielman knew that.
That's why I went with all my predictions.
Rick already had that. He already had that stat. Rick, that is unbelievable to see, though. Not something you would ever expect. I know we can't take it case by case, but doesn't that boggle you that Tom Brady, that would be the quote-unquote hit record?
Especially since he may have been the greatest, if not one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played this game, and he's a future Hall of Famer, known as the GOAT.
Yeah.
But to see that stat is quite surprising.
Yeah, very much so, because when the lights come on bright, Tom Brady is always at his best, so that's a shocking stat.
I guess
Except
maybe
against the Rams and
against the Rams.
And the Saints.
It was more when he was younger. Now, as our producer Jack points out, he's 45, so prime time, bedtime for Tom Brady. Keep that in mind.
He's still 44. Still 44.
Will be 45 this
soon.
season. Yes, very
Don't
soon.
put that on. Don't put that evil on Tom Brady yet.
Guys, thank you so much. Looking forward to more coverage from Bucs camp as the day rolls on here on CBS Sports HQ. Charles Davis and Rick Spielman. Here are their picks. They like Brady to lead the league in passing yards at plus 700. They like Mike Evans to go over his receiving yards total. They disagree on Shaq Barrett, 10 sacks, and the over-under win total of 11.5. And Rick is only comfortable with the Bucs winning the division. He does not have them getting out of the NFC. He does like the Bucs to cover the 2 in Dallas to open up the season week 1.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.